ready now. This is the one y'all been waiting for, and I want to apologize for you guys being at the very end, but that's the way it was scheduled. I called to order this meeting at approximately 7:47. Item number 2, recognition of the after-school program coordinators.
Yes, ma'am.
Madrigal.
I know that we were asked if we could meet or see who our ASP program coordinators were. I know, to start off, we have one director, one assistant director. We have Jack Garcia, who can talk about his after-school program.
Who's that?
Jack's our director. He's been here for a few years. We've gotten to know some people here. Like I said, he has one assistant director, and they have 17 full-time site coordinators and 2 part-time site coordinators. They also have 2 family engagement specialists, but the most important thing is that Jack services after school approximately 1,900 students every day. So, Jack, if you want to talk about your program and introduce your people.
Thank you, Board Member Silva and members of the board, administration. I want to, first of all, thank you for the opportunity and to lead the after-school program. But more importantly, I'm a big firm believer that you're only as good as the people around you. And I'm really blessed to have a staff like the site coordinators, the family engagement specialists, and even the office staff. So, and keep in mind, we employ somewhere in the neighborhood of between 200 and 300 teachers, paraprofessionals, part-timers within the community as well. So we're an economical driving force in the community as well. But tonight, I do have some coordinators that are here. I do have some that are out on medical leave as well, and some that did make it from, because we do run the summer track program, and I think they just finished this evening as well. If I can have my site coordinator stand up. Okay, I do have some. I have Nelson Martinez, who's helping me at La Paloma. He's the assistant site coordinator. I have also Albert Sanchez, who helps me at Angelo Leal, and he's also one of our summer track coaches that he just got out of track practice. Gloria Garcia, La Encantada. Jessica Diaz at PRC. Rita Chirinos at Oscar de la Fuente. Alfredo Muniz, that's at Fred Booth. Robert Peraza at Riverside Middle School. Catherine Contreras at Landrum Elementary. Michelle, I'm sorry, you're gonna. Yes, from, I'm used to Limon. She helps me at Dr. Cash Elementary. Nelda Gonzalez at Ed Downs Elementary. Janie Rios at Miller Jordan Middle School. I have Terry Padilla at Amador Rodriguez Boot Camp. And then I have Vicky Quintanilla at Berta Cavazza Middle School. And more importantly, I want my assistant director, Clarissa Guerra, to stand up. She's been very helpful and supportive through this past year as well. So I want to recognize her as well. Am I missing anybody in the audience? Okay. Thank you all very much for coming in and waiting patiently. Thank you all very much.
Jack, I just wanted to, just to say thank y'all. I know that y'all have received a lot of accolades, but sometimes y'all don't hear thank you enough for what y'all do. So thank you for what y'all do.
Yeah, and I just want to add, I think it's no secret that out of the Valley, we have one of the strongest after-school programs. We are indeed envied across the Valley, and we have that to thank Jack and his team and whatnot. So I think it's an important program because first and foremost, it keeps kids out of the streets. It keeps kids busy, it keeps kids learning, it keeps kids active. So thank you all for your investment in our kids. Because it really does, I mean, it's an investment, it pays dividends. And then not only do you keep them for 2 or 3 hours after school, that translates into how they perform the next morning, how they perform at the next grade level, their confidence, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, I have to comment. I'm going to second that. Mr. Jack Garcia and your staff, great job. I'm a testament to that. My son goes to the after-school program, and he does extremely well. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your contributions to our school district and for our wonderful children. Thank you.
Me too. I want to thank you all very much. He hit me, that's why I was, what are you doing? Thank you all very much for everything that you do. I know you do over and above your call of duty. I've had the pleasure of being with the chess team this year, and I've enjoyed it very so much, traveling and everything with you guys. I really have enjoyed it. Thank you for asking me to participate. And thank you again for everything you do. Jacko, just Jack.
And we're gonna miss Ms. Gonzalez. You retired this year.
Oh, yeah, Neil,
You will be deeply missed. You've done a great job, both. Everywhere you go, you've gone. You've done great.
Good point, Ms. Silva. I want to actually say that Nilda has contributed so much
So
over the
much.
years for the after-school program. And her second chapter of her life as she moves on.
You're gonna love retirement, not to worry.
No, you won't.
And it's gonna be hard to replace her.
Yes.
It's gonna be very hard to replace her. I hope you find somebody that's doing a good job as she is.
I'd like to echo my colleague's sentiments on the program. You know, it's, I think that bringing you all up here to the board and putting faces to the program, you know, it's important that we know who's out there taking care of our kids. The talent show that you all performed at the end of the year, that's a testament of everything that, of your time, your investment in our district. So from that point, I'd like to thank you, extend my gratitude for that, and I appreciate it for everything that you all are doing for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Item 3 now, quarterly report of Communities and Schools Incorporation Program. Dr. Maldonado.
Yes, ma'am. This is just to go over our partnership. They have to, every quarter, they have to come in and do a presentation. The Communities and Schools Program, we've partnered with them for about 15 years now.
Yes.
And, well, I'll let you go over your presentation, then shortly thereafter, we'll go over our MOU to continue services with CIS.
Thank you, Mr. Maldonado. Good evening, Board President and members of the board. My name is Eva Perez. I'm the Executive Director for Communities and Schools of Cameron County. And today I am presenting on our third quarter report, and you have a package like this. And so I'm gonna just summarize the different tabs that we have. And the first tab, if you turn to the first tab, it is it says individual and district totals. You have a listings of the 10 campuses that we currently have a site coordinator. And on the left side, you have all the services that we have. The very first line, as you may see, it says CIS student caseload. That number for each of the campuses is a caseload that our site coordinators have on a daily basis. And these are the students that have been identified by the students, by the district, as at risk. And so we, as you can see, Angela Leal has 110, Berta Cavazza 110, Frank Roberts 110, La Paloma 111, Miller Jordan 113, PRC 16, Riverside 115, San Benito High 114, San Benito VMA 110, and Gateway 46. This is a caseload that each one of our site coordinators is carrying. Back in October, when we last met, I had suggested that we do a combination, the site coordinator that was at PRC, because we didn't have enough students to meet our criteria. And so we suggested, CIS suggested, if maybe that site coordinator would be split and have 2 days at Gateway. And so the board approved it. We started that late in January. And so currently we have a young lady that has 2 days at PRC and then 3 days at Gateway. And as you can see, at Gateway, the total is 46 because we have more students that meet the criteria that CIS has to follow in order for them to be in our caseload. And of course, on the left side, you see all the services that we do, and it varies from campus to campus because of the population and because of the needs of each of the students in the different campuses. So it varies that you have some site coordinators that do more home visits, some may have more phone calls. We have parent conferences, we have the giving out of school supplies, the rental assistance, the volunteers, the school-wide events. It just depends on the needs of the campus and the students that go to those campuses. Any questions on any of these services or schools?
We were just looking at, Berta Cavazos shows homeless students.
Mhm.
For
Yes.
homeless students. What are we doing about those students? What's going on with those?
Okay, what we do with the homeless students, these are the students that have been identified by the McKinley-Vento. And so what CIS does, if they're in need of any clothing or things like that, we have a grant that we wrote that we can cover those areas to help them. And that goes from basic needs to hygiene products, to clothing, to shoes, eyewear, anything that our grant allows us to give to our homeless students. And that would be like, if they don't have any assistance from any other resource, then we can provide them with 1 month of rent or 1 month of temporary housing until they get back into a home of themselves or whatever. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Any other question? No?
That you did more uniform assistant clothing this
Yes.
quarter than before?
Yes, and for some reason, the second quarter, it's either because at the beginning of the school year, the parents will provide the uniforms, but then,
They
because,
outgrow them or whatever?
yes, and so we have a tendency of doing, giving them more uniforms, and that
Right.
also goes under our resources that we have for clothing. So if the child is in a school that needs uniforms, then we provide uniforms for the students.
Brand new?
Brand
Or
new,
used? Okay.
Yes, yes,
And I also noticed where you have non-CIS students,
yes,
that you don't turn anybody away.
no,
You-
we
you-
don't,
You
No.
help them out anyway.
right.
Especially at Riverside, they had 125 non-CIS students.
Yes, we do not turn anybody away.
Thank you very much for helping them. Thank you.
Any questions? No? If we move on to tab 2, basically, these are the calendars that our
Yes.
site coordinators have on a monthly from January to May. And basically, the highlights of these calendars is, basically, we provide assistance with college fairs, career days, parent meetings, STAR assistance, EOC assistance. It's just a combination of things they
Things
do
that you
in
do.
conjunction with the counselors, with the nurses, and it's basically, every case manager has different things going on in their
Right.
campus, and so we highlight only aside from their regular duties.
But you also do activities within the school as well.
Yes, yes, we do.
With their, whatever they're doing, you're also participating
Yes, ma'am.
with them as well. That's
Yes.
good as well.
Mhm. Any question? Okay, under tab 3, you have the at-a-glance report, and this report is basically what we do. We follow our withdrawal students. If you look at the first paragraph, let's say Berta Cavazos. It says enrolled outside of San Benito 1, and then it says where it went to. So in this case, Berta Cavazos had 1 student that withdrew, and it went to Liberty Memorial in Los Fresnos. And so we do track our students, even though they tell us, okay, we're leaving and that's it. So we do double check that if they're stating that they're going to another school
Campus,
district,
yeah, school
we
district.
make contact with the school district to make sure that they did follow through.
Great.
And so we do follow through on our withdrawals.
Wonderful.
Any questions on any of my campuses? There's a few, not everybody had withdrawals, but the ones that do, we did go ahead and stated where the students went to.
And it is vice versa with the other schools?
Yes.
Okay, so, okay.
Mhm.
They pick them up as well.
Yes, ma'am. And if they have, like, let's say, Los Fresnos, we are at Los Fresnos CIS. So if we have if we have a site coordinator here from the high school that is going to the high school, then our CIS site coordinator will contact the site coordinator at the high school saying, Eva Perez is going over there. So they look out to make sure that I already enrolled. And once they do, then we transfer the file from San Benito to Los Fresnos, and they continue ongoing services. Mhm.
Wonderful.
And the next tab is your principal report. And this is just a monthly report that every principal receives at the end of every month, just giving them a summary of what the site coordinator did at that campus. And you've got your January through May for each of the 9 campuses that we have, 10 campuses that we have here in San Benito. And so this is just a report given to the principal so that the principal knows exactly what they did for that month. It's a summary. And so usually, if they have any school-wide events or if they have any agency referrals, they'll go ahead and list what other needs are being given aside from the regular paragraph in the top. They usually list the items in the middle paragraph, middle box, I'm sorry. And if they have anything special, they'll go ahead and list there. So if they did like a can drive or a uniform drive, things like that, they'll go ahead and list it there. And if they had a career day or if they had a uniform drive, they'll go ahead and list it under for the month that they did. Mhm. Any question on that? And last but not least is the highlights that we had. And on the last meeting that we had in February, I had announced that we had two line items that we would do in May. And so the first one was our Jonathan Gracia Award. It's a CIS scholarship, and this is money donated from the judge to Cameron County. And so from San Benito, we had a total of, in the whole contest, we had 20 participants. And out of those 20 participants, San Benito had 7 students. And so the winner of the scholarship was Miss Carrie Garza from San Benito High School.
Good.
And so she received a $500 scholarship in behalf of CIS and Jonathan Gracia. And her picture is right behind the highlights where she received the award, and we had an award ceremony at Mariscos del Golfo in Branswell, where she and her mother were there to receive the award. And the second item is Do the Right Thing Texas Challenge. And this is a writing essay that is offered to the middle schools. And it is a writing assignment on violence and how it affects our students' lives. And so we had a total of 621 essays between San Benito and Los Fresnos. And this is a writing contest to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And so from San Benito, we had 259 essays. And so we had 259 students that actually took the time to put their efforts in writing essays. And we had to select 2 winners, and it had to be a young man and a young woman. And so it's very hard. So we have community partners that it's a 2-phased contest where they have to read the first and then process of elimination. And basically what we did is we took the top 2 students from each middle school, which 5 middle schools, so we had 10 finalists. And then it went through a second round, and in the second round, they selected the boy and the girl. Last year's contest, the winners were from Los Fresnos. And so this year, we were very proud to announce that both recipients are from San Benito, one from Riverside and one from Berta Cavazza. And I have the recipient from Riverside, which is Aaron Almeida and Mrs. Almeida tonight. And so
Can you have him come up so we can?
yes. Can you come up, Aaron? I want to go ahead and shake your hand. He is from Riverside. He's an 8th grader. And the other young lady couldn't be here today because she is vacationing already, but I do want to recognize her, and her name is Kaden Trailkill from Berta Cavazza, and she was also the other recipient. Aaron and Kaylin will be traveling to Washington, D.C. In behalf of CIS of Cameron County. We will be traveling on July the 14th through the 18th. One parent and their teacher, whoever helped her with that assignment, will also have that round trip. It's all expense paid. And so we not only get to go and visit all the historical sites in Washington, but their essay or point, in Mr. Almeida's case, it was his point. It's going to be published in a book, and it's actually filed in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., and so it's going to be there forever. So it's a great opportunity for them to, when they grow up, they can always say, you know what, mijo, you can always go and see my masterpiece there in the Congress of Washington, D.C. And so you have pictures of them. These are the two young people that actually got the awards. So we're very proud that this year San Benito was able to get the winners for this contest. And this is a contest that every year we are going to be continuing, because I think it's just a great opportunity for our students and families to realize that the Valley has talent. And so they will be up there for 5 days, and they get to meet at least another 600 ambassadors from all over the United States. They get to share their business cards, they get to share their stories, they get to read their stories, and so it's just a great honor for us to take these two young students. We'll be traveling for 5 days, and like I say, we will be representing CIS of Cameron County with all the 4 districts that
When they head off to the trip, could you make sure to get in touch with our PR people to make sure we're also, social media and everything?
Yes, I will.
Awesome.
And
And I
we'll
would love a
bring
copy
pictures, and
of-
we'll try to do a little PowerPoint of the pictures and everything that took place over there, so that you can see what we actually do. It's a great experience. It's my 3rd year going up, and it's just, every year it just gets better and better.
Great.
Okay, well, if you're tired, I can take your place.
I will keep that in mind. Any questions?
I would love to see it or read their poem and their essay.
We
if
can
possible.
arrange that the next board meeting if you
Great,
would
I
like.
would love to,
Maybe
yes.
we can have Cadence be here as well, so you can meet her,
Yes.
and so we can arrange that for you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez, for
Thank
everything.
you.
Okay?
Yes, thank
Okay, thank you.
And it's not easy writing an essay as an English teacher and a writing teacher. It's hard. It's not easy. But if you really put your mind into it, you can do it. Congratulations, Miguel. Good job. Well done. Agenda item. Agenda item? No, the next one. Item number 4, review and discussions of memorandum of understanding between the San Benito CISD and Communities in Schools Incorporation for the 2018-2019 school year. Dr. Madrigal, would you like to take over?
Yes, ma'am. This is, as stated before, just a review of our MOU with Community in Schools. Like was presented, they help out in a lot of different ways. They do a lot of support, guidance and counseling. They help out with the Health and Human Services. They also work in conjunction with TWC. So all in all, in short, the things that they do are great things for our kids, and they help our kids out, especially our kids that have the most needs. So I ask for y'all to please consider this item.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now, this is, no, it doesn't want to work. It doesn't want to work.
Ms. Silva, that's an agenda item, correct?
Agenda item first, just, you said first. Agenda item. Okay, Review, discussions of memorandum of understanding between the San Benito CISD and Texas A&M University at Kingsville for the 2018-2019 school year. Dr. Madrigal, we'll turn it over to you.
Yes, ma'am, this is just to review our MOU with Texas A&M Kingsville and to go over the cost of or how much it's going to cost us per child per our tuition. But we entered into this agreement with TMA UK this past year to where when we started our early college academy, one of the things that we wanted to push dual enrollment and more kids taking classes. However, when we do so, or when you want that, sometimes you bottleneck your regular classes by having your teachers teach those dual enrollment classes. But we were able to come into an agreement with Kingsville, and they will be providing our teachers or our instructors for the early college. This is not to say that we will not continue our regular dual enrollment at the high school with our teachers, but we just do not want to create any sort of bottlenecks for our students and or teachers.
This is where the student pays, what, $40, sir?
We're going to take care of that.
Oh, okay.
That's a total cost for the district, $40.
Per hour.
Per hour.
Per hour, and they're typically 3-hour classes.
Oh, okay.
But as I know that we talked about this at the graduation the other day when Mr. Sanchez said they'd taken something like 3,300 hours and it had saved $1 million for the parents. I think it's fine if we're paying up front, and it's just an investment in our future and our kids' future. And if we can get them to help out the families and the kids and expose them to some of these classes and opportunities without the parents and or kids having to incur that cost, and expose them to more things that are out there and help them when they leave here to level the playing field with the other people they're competing against across the state and across the nation for that matter.
I was just thinking about Mr. Escamilla's or Marty De Leon presentation there, 1882, where the benefit of $1,000 per kid that were gained towards their dual enrollment and UT services, and then the NIFA $250 additional, and then for the construction of a facility for them, you're talking about $60 million that is possible we can gain out of it more, and they do the dual enrollment also. So that's something we can look maybe the following year or so. I think it's a lobbyist, so it's a give and take, but this one is good.
Yes, sir. And we'll keep on moving forward. I know that that's one of Dr. Carmen's big pushes, is to make us to where we are the top district in South Texas. So we will be headed that way.
Mr. Madrigal, I got a question for you. As far as our technical support, our technical school, like, are they in the ballgame as well? Like
TSTC and
University
TSC,
of
yes, sir.
Bronzeville?
Our CATE dual enrollment classes, we have an MOU with TSC, which I believe we did 2 months ago. We signed that MOU, and they provide the majority of our CTE dual enrollment classes for our kids here. I know the focus, because traditionally we've done really well with our CATE classes in dual enrollment, but we wanted a bigger push on our academic classes, dual enrollment, to get our kids college ready as well there.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So the
TSC.
Correct. So does Bronzeville do dual enrollment here too, sir, or no?
I cannot, dual enrollment with.
TSC or
With
University of Bronzeville?
the Brownsville campuses, I believe they do.
Okay. Yeah, just so everybody can be on the same page, but the advantage of going with Tamuk, there was an advantage because they were gonna provide the teachers
Yes,
and
sir.
so on and so forth, but the cost was a little more expensive, correct?
Yes, sir. And one of the other advantages is that our kids are housed here on campus at the VMA. That was another benefit as opposed to
Versus having to take them somewhere else,
Yes, sir.
having to, right.
transport our kids
So
elsewhere.
all in all, for the safety of our kids and the convenience purposes.
The safety, the convenience, and also the opportunities to, if we partner at this stage of the game with Kingsville, and we allowed it to the other universities, local universities, hopefully, what the hope is that they only have one transcript when they leave San Benito High School. I think most of us have had that when we were growing up, that we have multiple universities, and then when you try to apply for your graduate school or whatever it may be, tracking down those, your transcripts, although someone you may want to forget and hope that they forgot, it's a lot easier this way if it's just at, say, for example, right now, Kingsville, and the child just has to go to one place for their transcript.
Okay, so, now that you mentioned transcript. Let's say, okay, so I guess, well, how many of these kids actually go to A&I that take the courses here? A&M? Or to MOOC? How many?
And I could have that information for you. I cannot say that right now, but I could, I would say get with our higher education coordinator, but we don't have one, but we could look on the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board and track our kids and see how many attend that university and compared to other universities in the state, if you'd like something like that.
Okay, just so we could, I mean, the purpose of just choosing one, that's the whole point, of selling just one, because I know a lot of kids stick around here locally. They go to Brownsville, they go to, the technical colleges here, and Edinburgh as well. But I know they all have their, as far as what we expect, I know they all have their little, flaws as far as what we expect as far as our student enrollment. So that's one of the reasons why I'm asking, because if we're gonna go just with one, we need to be very clear that that's the one we're gonna go with, and nobody else is gonna be part of the game. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm not trying to make this meeting any longer than, but we did give them the opportunity, and if that's the case, I'm not gonna say the names of the other universities, but they cannot meet the needs that we had presented right now. This past year, it may change. Obviously, this is a one-year MOU, but we're gonna get the best bang for our buck for our kids and for the community.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to add to Mr. Lopez's comments. I think it's important to identify where our kids are going. One of the beauty about the dual enrollment programs, especially here in the state of Texas, is that they focus on an academic core, which is equivalent to 42 credit hours, 41 to 42 credit hours, and they transfer to any state college here in the state of Texas. And that is one of the items that is coming up on the House bill with the coordinating board on identifying where our kids are going. So in that respect, I think it is important to begin thinking about where are our kids going after they complete San Benito CISD in general, not so much a specific college, and how are they doing out there. So something to think about, and I think that's a great idea, Mr. Lopez, regarding that, and I believe that information can be accessed even through the coordinating board, Mr. Madrigal. So because we've seen, I mean, I work with higher ed, and we do see the number of students coming in from different locations, and I think it's just a matter of reaching out to the institutions locally, even statewide, just an email identifying how many of our kids are going to their institutions, and they'll provide you with a report. Just a heads up on that. But thank you.
Thank you, sir. Agenda item 6, review, discussion of the memorandum of understanding between San Benito CISD and SCAN Incorporation for the 2018-2019 school year. Dr. Madrigal, I keep calling you Dr. Madrigal. Are you?
Yes, sir. No, I'm just a mister. I'm just a mister. But I've seen House quite a bit, so.
I like doctor.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. This MOU is, I know we had some dialogue and discussions in the last couple of meetings, committee and board meetings, about changing some things at PRC. One of the things that we wanted that was brought to our attention by the people from SCAN is that SCAN is a residential facility, and if you'd like to go through and just talk about what y'all do there, but they're a residential facility, and I think they've been partnered they've been working with San Benito ISD. I asked what they did, but apparently our kids were going to, from our SCAN kids were being sent to PRC, and the people, directors from SCAN had asked, and I asked them, why PRC? And they said because we could not provide classes there on their location. 98% of the other residential facilities across the state of Texas, this district with which they reside in, provide educational services on their property. We're asking that y'all consider this. This would not incur any additional FTEs or the only thing that may be incurred is the cost of the travel from here to SCAN. We do have the equipment. They're going to provide the room. We'll provide the cows, which we have, the computers on wheels. And I'm sorry about that. So, but all in all, it's something they asked, and you know, we're here to help their kids out. And if we have any questions about SCANs, we have a representative here from SCANs.
Real quick, my name is Blas Castillo. I'm one of the counselors that works at SCAN. And SCAN is a drug rehab that houses 16 adolescents. And we house them from all over the valley, this is from Brownsville all the way to Laredo, and at times some young adolescents from Victoria. So we, mainly when they get to our facility, the majority of them are court order. They're low risk, they're not violent, aggressive kids that are gonna, mainly they had a drug problem that eventually took over their lives. But yeah, so we just want to see if it's possible that we can have them housed at our facility and have some teachers probably go over there and provide the services that they need.
Yeah.
Will they be safe? Our teachers, will they be safe
Oh,
when they go
of course.
there? I mean,
Yes, I think if you look at the referrals at the PRC, it's mainly because they were walking and they smiled while somebody passed, or they scratched their head without permission, or, I mean, very, very.
Will you have security there?
Our staff is the security, they're all trained.
All of you are trained?
Yeah, we are trained how to defuse situations. Violence, fights, it's very, very minimal that we have in our facility. Of course, there's cameras as well. I'd say if anything, there'd probably be maybe 2 fights within a year. And that's because we didn't have any fights for the past 4 years, but lately, I guess we have 2. But we're not talking about fights where kids punch each other. It's probably one that probably punch one and that's it, because the other guy doesn't want to get in trouble. So, you know, it's very, very rare to get into a fight. If we had any restraints in our staff, I'd say we probably restrained 2 within the 9 years that I've worked there.
How many students are we talking about?
16.
Right now, 16 or 17 kids.
Yeah, 16, 17.
The most they could house there on their facility are 17 children.
17?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you all have a classroom setting?
Yes, we do.
You do? Okay.
And like 5 as well.
what age range are you looking?
We house 13 through 17.
And these kids are already our kids, just so we know, we do have them, we do house them over at PRC. They're in our level 3. But what we're trying to do is get them in a lesser restrictive of an environment, something that's more conducive to, these kids have been through a lot, and we want to make sure that they have all the services that they need. And they asked, we said, well, we'd look into it, and we were able to look into it, and we're just asking for consideration to change the location. We're not going to lose any positions or any there from our PRC staff. All we're going to ask is that they drive over there, and we will reimburse them for their mileage.
Wow.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
Agenda item 7, review, discussion of the memorandum of understanding between the San Benito CISD and Niños Incorporation, Head Start, Early Head Start for 2018-2019 school year. Kelly?
Yes, ma'am. And this MOU We did make a change to this MOU. I believe that in years past, we had a four-year-old program with niños. However, this year, we're going to be having our own four-year-old program at San Benito CISD. What we did change was our three-year-old program. We're going to have it at 3 campuses. We did have, I believe it's a 53-year or so, or how long? We're the longest standing district partnered with Niños here in the Valley.
Yes,
And we did not want to break that up. It's been a pretty good marriage. So we're trying to figure out what we could do to stay working with them. We made some changes to the MOU, and the only thing that we changed was the year of the age of the kids that we're going to be accepting. Like I said, we're going to have it at 3 campuses, and if we have any questions, we have Niños here to.
I only have 2 questions. One, introduce y'all if y'all would like first.
Good evening. My name is Laura Marquez, and I'm a family service coordinator with Niños Head Start, which I work with the enrollment and the parental involvement of our program.
Good evening, I'm Silvana Solis, and I'm one of the education coordinators. We're 4 that work with the program, so I'm one of the education coordinators. Work with the teachers and getting supplies and curriculum and lesson plan and all that.
Got it, thank you. My first question is which 3 campuses, and my second question is about how many additional students will we receive? Oh, I don't have it. My Wi-Fi's out.
The 3 campuses will be
Fred Booth, Frank Roberts, and
Fred
Rangerville.
Booth, Frank Roberts, and Rangerville. And the number of kids that we're gonna.
We'll be serving 102 3-year-old children.
And you have them already?
Yes, we're in the process. We were just waiting actually for this to go through. Currently, we won't, in the city of San Benito, we won't be serving 4-year-olds at all. So we currently have our Head Start Center at La Gallina where we're also serving 3-year-olds there.
Is this an opportunity to expand 3-year-old program district-wide?
And that's something that we could look at possibly in years to come. Right now, we had asked the principals which had the 4-year-old program on their campus, since the rooms are already outfitted for Niños, but some of them we had to take for our 4-year-old program to see if there was space, and we'd given them a list of some of the requirements that they chose to pick from, for example, being potty trained, which is a pretty big one. But yes, sir, there is a possibility in years to come. Right now, only 3 have chosen to move forward.
Thank you.
I have one question. I met a real nice young lady the other day at the restaurant, and she told me that she was working there, and I can't remember her name, but her question was, is she going to lose her job? She also told me she was a certified teacher looking for a job here with the school district. However, if she doesn't find a job within the next 3 months, is anybody being let go? Are you keeping everyone, or?
No, we're keeping everyone.
Okay, so.
We don't have, other than they want to seek other employment opportunities, but our program works a little bit different. We don't work necessarily on ADA. We serve Cameron and Willacy County, so they'll be dispersed within the service area.
I see.
But do you have certified teachers?
Yes, we have certified teachers.
Certified.
Certified.
Oh, I see.
We have some.
They're all,
Yeah.
not all.
We meet our 50% requirement that the federal government puts on us, but we have a good amount of
So their
teachers.
salary is like the, no.
No, it's not. It's not the
Oh,
same.
should.
It's not. It should. We agree, but it's not.
I see. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Thank you, yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Agenda item.
Agenda item. Committees, concerns? None? Or you share before we close? Because it's not 8:30 yet. It is. Okey dokey. We adjourn this meeting at 8:30. Thank you.